power. President Gay, via get together, this again. I say, oh, me, I'm right. And by doing you, I'm a patriot of Madrid, when you're on it goes away. Alas, I go that Gianna, we say you. Papa Mora, get it up when anywhere, Mamba Sivole. Sivole. L'arrangeur parmi national, très trop fort. Puis après, mais on va essayer de sauver des joueurs. À moi, ça y est. Pas pour mon yao. Papa n'y guitare, petit, plateau fait sonner. Kainaka, Pena Paya Posa Gogo, Mambo Panjago, Apollo Akaway, Waposa Yokaway. We are for them one money upper clay you can. None your see one. What's the matter to your way at me on your own? And more. That's it to come. With this one, go where they have been. Go on, yeah, I cannot salute. What's the matter to your way at me on your own? And more. That's it to come. Now with this one, go where they have been. Oh, yeah, can you get? Now, getting your bed when I know sound fairly on it. Hey, I go. Let's do what you just grab the one. Say your book on ya. Are you a no? Say, Bobo, that you are not, we say you over. I want to you come on, need a boy. And yes, I'm going to buy the good way. Hey, Imo, my God. Am I gay? What I guess me, I'm going to end it the way. Oh, ow. Say, Bobo, that you are not, we say you over. So, like it, I'm for when you never went. Netoni, and you. Hey, are you? Oh, but we just say, oh, yeah, I'm a walking about. Kaidaka, when it was to work, I go to let you know halfway. I just know. This is what I say. Saibo, yeah, ow. You like do I name one by one name on tell it by Potamu, Kanyada. Planning Papa, Pinagasia, Paka on Lage, the Buesipo, the BSCB. There's no yes, you don't get no one. There's a bob was a dress, you, Mammo, Palipo, that Giano, and I will say you over. I will. Saibo. If I do a blank, I do it so say. I just want to lay a bad to an hour on your see you okay. Wait, you, Ivo, Saibo. And they didn't go for Bangla, John B. Bangla. On the Krian, I walk like a bad day noir. It was a was. You're naturally thankful to play. Say, Bobo, that Giano, and I will say you over. I'm done it. So walk away. I know Russell, Cape Gospel. South Africa, your fault, your way. And I'm for you, won't walk there and my one. I'm the Pope, and you don't feel it. I say, oh, Clavoyon. Say, if I can work, we are coming. Say, Bobo, that Giano, and I will say you over. Our people swallow, in the swallow. Pamuka, do not get that Siko Bala. Cabojo, I say, Kepo said, do so looking. Say, I say, oh, my, you know, can one day, yeah. Your family, you're the Monday now. Everyone, I say, oh, my, I'm more now. Saibo that Giano and I will say you. I wish I rule the you, my Saibo. c'est mayo. Dans nos yas sur son beau panier. Amora junior la c'est.
Alors il a fait un son pour Mobile Production.
Arrangé Eric Lodé. Le don de Dieu pour la musique de l'Ouest. Je te détesterai jamais. Jamais, jamais, au grand jamais. Mobile Production. Abia dia au bois. Amounia grand. Moi, toi, Pierre. Piero momoye, ato piero ji avele, piero momoye, ah piero ndato piero sopra no seide, ato piero ji avele, akosia o, moye, piero momoye, mosa bosa iko momoye, piero ji mo were, mangoye mo, ah piero ji mo were, mangoye mo, piero we, ha ji avele, piero momoye, la poche yo ji avere so no juni emble mo bli amado let's play jamone chi panyone ne mo waja chi panyone ne ja play bone na kanyo ko sia bu chena de kanyo de ko de se perdu de ya piero moye piero momoye piero momoye ogarba oyawesa moye jiblo no kujon boba terbono ma boye ble piero we piero momoye mon plein production Topie mon plein production assez au clano ya wa kelo mu lo koje Piero momoye, Erico na Piero moye, ah Chalico na Piero moye, ato Piero moye. Die na pa yeble, do Piero die na pa yeble, ah nie Piero ah Piero we. Piero moye, Erico jato Piero mare bomu jato Piero Erico de bomu jato Piero mi amo daka, yo jale ko ye nyowo pa, opa oda ye de nyani ye ble gba kite, dia o anade kro aja be atia, nyoro agbade ki abudi ye. Ono homono ne ka double ye. Sobo somo soble so danyo. Paseble asenyo na yeta esa ye libo sanele. To piero jawe ke. To piero point so weke. To piero iwa mo pa. Kaya no e ka sene la taya mo la osiane. To piero ki agba ide papa ko. Kia o to piero moye. Ah, tu agba mo e. Mama Jose Ajaro. Moye, Jaro moye, 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 moye. Moye, 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 Jaro moye, moye, ale, moye.
Samson, folks, Samson. I laugh. Sometimes these technology can tell you not to fool around much. But that's what we do. That's what we do here on Liberia Public Radio. Welcome, welcome, my brothers and sisters. All we try to do, make sure you enjoy the studio. That's all it is. We're not trying to fake anything or whatever it is. You know this is a studio. It's my house. What do you expect? Welcome. Anyway, welcome, folks. I'm not too happy tonight with the output of this whole thing. If you can do it, enjoy it. But anyway, let's welcome. Let me welcome all of you, my brothers and sisters that are listening to LPI here tonight. We say thank you very much. Not that you don't have anything to do on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday afternoon, but of course, the fact that you're here with us tonight, we will do our best to entertain you, to inform you, to enlighten you, and whatever we have to do for you to understand what it is that's happening. Safety, 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 folks. Safety. I'm not going to go too much into safety tonight. All I can say about that is take care of your car, and your car will take care of you. Let's go straight. Folks, I've been perusing the internet lately, and nothing much. I read something today, front page, about the money that is supposed to borrow. $420 million dollars is supposed to borrow for the road, Grand Gide, Tapeta, Tota, Border, Ivory Coast. That road, okay, and according to front page, they might have issue in getting the money because there are certain roadblocks or certain documentation that's supposed to be presented. Now, front page does not say for sure that those people don't have it. They're just telling us what are those documents that have to be sent out. I'm not too sure. So read it for yourself and take it from there. As usual, this is what I do here on LIBERIA Public Radio. I try to do the role. Let me be frank with you again this afternoon as I start. My intent here is not to degrade anybody. My intent here is not to challenge anybody's credentials. Who am I? I'm not a professor. I don't give grades. I don't do those kinds of stuff. The only thing I do is what I know is to put out there. So here's the interesting thing. If you're also an engineer and you put out a crappy job that I see that are not engineering up to standard, I will point that out. And if it means for me to call your name, I will do so. I'm not challenging you. I'm just saying what you put out there is not something that is decent for my people. And the fact that I am an engineer, forget it. What I'm in Liberia, I can talk about it. Okay. So that's exactly what we're trying to do, and that's what we continue to do. Because here's the thing. The wonderful president, he's very serious about the road business. It left with those who are responsible. You see, the president is not an engineer. Even my professor, Eugene Fakar, is not an engineer. So you don't expect them to go out to know everything about engineering. However, those who are tasked with that responsibility, they have already submitted their credential to the president and the rest of the crew that was looking at the credential, and they feel they're qualified because they exhibit. They send out application, they send out their resume, whatever they send out to say, I can do this, I can do that. Okay? So based on that, they trust you to do that work. So if you can't do it and you put out something like this, here's the interesting thing as well. Nowadays, the media situation in Liberia is, not only in Liberia, all over the world. You can stay right here in Sacramento and see what people are doing over there. So if I see something that is not engineeringly up to standard, I will open my mouth. However, I should also show my responsibility as I try to point out these things, that though we're here in the United States, because where the all of the thing you want, they're pretty much here. If you go into road construction, the design expert, everything you want, they're here to get your work going fine. In Liberia, it's not like that. In Liberia, we also have to understand, as we go on these criticizing, whatever you want to term it, as we go on pointing out fault for these brothers and sisters, we have to understand that the design or the capacity in Liberia is not as rich as it is here. So I should also be mindful that I don't try to compare Liberia to the United States at all times. No, I must be able to understand that my brothers and sisters over there, they are doing some stuff, even if they are not up to engineering standard. However, they are doing it based on what they know what to do. I understand that, and that's the point that I want to make clear tonight. And so as I point out these things, you should also understand that let us don't try to compare the nice thing we see here in the United States and people say, oh, they can do this again. No, they're not the same. Our brothers and sisters over there in Liberia are suffering. And to these type of tools and these type of engineering, they don't come overnight. However, what I want people to know is the fundamental. The fundamental of engineering does not change whether you live in Total or Moepliwe. Engineering fundamental is the same. You come here to the United States, the beginning is the same. Nothing changed. Okay? And those are the fundamentals that are missing. That's what I'm trying to put up. I'm not trying to tell them that, okay, you put this thing in here. What is your movement shear diagram on this concrete you put down? What is the breaking point of this concrete? What is the stress level of the concrete? How much weight this concrete? That's not what I'm talking about. Okay? I'm talking about the basic. So let's enjoy ourselves this evening. Now that we have laid the premise, let's enjoy ourselves. Quite recently, the professor himself, I like this guy. This guy continued to supply me with all of the information that I need to do my show. As I continue to go on this role, construction, design, what have you, with the Liberian people, because the president, go up, count down, he wants those roles. We, those who are responsible to make sure these things are applied, the fundamental of engineering, I apply. The fundamental of construction, I apply, so that the road will last a little bit longer. Now, I'm not going to hold to the Liberian engineers or the Liberian designer to that of the standard, the type. No, I take that back. I will hold them to that. However, I can't sit here and say I'm in Sacramento. I just finished doing a roadway, and the road that I did is supposed to be 20 years, so the Liberian road. No, I can't do that. I have to give them some latitude. However, the latitude must not be taken for granted. Samson too. I'm running again. If you miss this one again tonight, you're gonna miss something, because I'm gonna be pointing out some stuff. Some funny things as well. Some funny things, you know. So as I was saying, quite recently, the professor, I call him professor because this young man, the only thing I tend to somehow, but then he explained to us every time he get on TV or Facebook, he's always said, this is how I talk. I'm not angry, but I emphasize. And so we'll accept it as it is. But for me, I think sometimes when he's talking, I think like he's angry. But he keeps saying, I'm not angry. This is how I talk. So who am I to change the way this young man talk? We will accept it and we'll move on. But let's be honest with ourselves. Let me go back again. Quite recently, Eugene Falcon was on Dole Community. I've been showing you, I think I've done 2 or 3 shows on Dole Community already. They're building a road over there. Okay, I'm not going to go back to what I stated. You can go on LPR and do some research. You'll find some old video of me. Because when you say old, then that tend to connect to Samson, to who is not old. He's only 25 years old. Take it from me. Okay, let's move on. Let's forget age business. Okay, so he went out recently, and of course, he was there to promote the Poor Pro agenda, what the government has been doing, which is wonderful. Wonderful. I like that. However, I'm not too sure when it comes to the road construction and the road procedures, how the construction is supposed to be happening. I'm not too sure if Professor Falcon should be ahead, because that's his job. He should be ahead. But I think he should be able to, as he walk along, we should be able to see an engineer from public work working along with our brother. Don't let him sit. He's not an engineer. He's a very smart young man. He's not an engineer. But if you're walking with this man as an engineer, you try to hold his shirt when he's saying something that perhaps engineeringly not making sense. You will say, hold on, chief. Without you saying that you're pulling his shirt, he's a smart man. He'll look back and look at you. Then you tell him, because that's his job to explain. And Mr. Falcon, one thing I like about him, he ain't got shame fear. He'll tell you exactly how it is. So when you tell him, Mr. Falcon, okay, he said, hold on. Somebody, the engineer is telling me, let's listen to the engineer. And you will explain. But if you have him alone going out there, making pronouncements that perhaps are not quite to par when it comes to engineering, then that doesn't make us feel comfortable. Okay, So recently he went out to look at the Dole community road and the progress. I told you before, and I'm not taking that back. That road construction should have been put on hold until the dry season. But they decided they want to do it in the rainy season. I'm not too sure why they couldn't wait. I'm not too sure why the pressure was from the president that this road must be built in the rainy season. I'm not too sure as to whether the people from public work could not have gone to the president. If you build this road in the rainy season, you're not going to get a decent result. The end result will not be decent. The user, as they continue to use that road, it's not going to turn out to be good. You're going to come back here within a year or so to start repairing. I'm not too sure if those kinds of information will pass on to the president. So I'm not gonna go into that. I'll just strictly talk about what I see. And you have to forgive me as well, because seeing can sometimes things you see can be deceiving. So what I'm seeing perhaps it's not what it is. You see how I got out of that one? I'm getting ready to show you some stuff, and I say, don't tie me to it, because what I see maybe it's not what it is. And you think something too stupid. I love it when I do that. I love it when I do that. Okay. So folks, I'm going to be showing you a couple of videos here tonight. Okay. Some of them from Professor Vacan VC. Some are from YouTube. You can go on YouTube and look at those things yourself. But the reason that I'm bringing these videos, especially from YouTube up, so you will understand why when they do these kinds of stuff, you will understand that perhaps even though you don't have all the equipment to make these things, but for goodness sake, can you not do something better than to give us things like, because once you understand what these things are, you will know. And if you compare, even if you compare the substandard part of what is being made from this video, if you bring the standard low, don't go up to what these people have, because when they put these things together, they have done all their calculation. They know how much concrete is supposed to be in there, and they have to make design. They also know what type of steel rod to put in there, how much steel rod to put in there, where to bend the steel rod, how much bending the steel rod. All of those things are calculated. You don't just put steel rod and say, I think I need to bend it here. No, it don't happen like that. But let's look at it. So what I'm going to be showing you here tonight is a few videos, but before I do that, let me show you the president. And again, I want you to, the reason why I keep showing you the picture of the president, I want you to understand his mindset. Speculation, that is. I want you to understand his mindset. When he was running campaign, this young man traveled all over the country, a season like this, in rainy season. So he saw a lot. Okay, now I'm going to be leaping here. I'm going to be leaping off of a tall building from New York City here this afternoon. And who am I? I don't care. I will leap anyway. You understand this man, this young man, president. What was he doing before? What was the biggest thing he did in his life? He was a soccer player. Soccer player. What position was he playing? He played forward, striker, to score goal against people, to make sure his team win. You think the men are here to win? You people when you see the thing about it that I laugh sometimes. Those of you that go, oh, the man this, he that. Apparently, you haven't studied anybody, because if you know where this man coming from, you think he want to lose? That's not his nature, for Christ's sake. Year in, year out, when he was playing, winning was all he wanted. You think he here to lose? Whether you say or you don't say, or the man wants to win, and you will do what you can to win legally, I hope. So, but if you understand where this man's coming from, you will see why he's so persistent about this road business. So I told you again, during the campaign, I was following him because I didn't support CDC. So my intent was to watch whatever video CDC had, if I can pick, because I do broadcasting, of course. If I can pick little stuff that they make little mistake, I capitalize on it. So I used to follow them. And I saw how much he was involved. Some places, people want to tour. They told some people who wanted to be president. I want to call name people. you know, they put some people in a hammock because they couldn't walk in the mud. I don't want to touch that one because they think that campaign season is over. But guess what? You think if a president we have wanted people to take him, put him on his bike, you don't think people there, young people see this year were not ready to put that man on their bike and walk? But he refused. He wants to walk and feel it himself. So that as he's walking, he can feel within himself what his people are feeling. Those who, at that time, now, those who he was hoping to lead, what were they feeling? So let me put this picture up. It's just one picture, but I want you to understand my reason of putting this one picture up, folks. It's not like I just want you to. What the picture say? No, that ain't it. Sounds into what you doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, all right. Folks, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. I don't have my glasses. Okay, yeah, it is. Watch this. Watch this. Here's the president. Look at the ground he's walking on. It's wet. And this is just one picture. I'm sure they have some. There's just one video that I've always tried to get. I can't get it. It was just one video, Facebook video. He was walking with King, and he wanted to put his left foot across. There's a little ditch, not a ditch, but a little gutter, something he wanted to cross over. However, he realized that if he's not careful, he's going to slip because the whole place is wet. And this is what, folks, this is what I do. I observe people. That's one thing, as dumb as I am, I observe people. That one thing I give myself credit for. If you watch that video, the first attempt he did, and then he drew back. He took a step back. He didn't move a foot, but in his mind. Then immediately, the soccer instinct took over. Balancing yourself when you're playing ball. How you balance yourself. And it came over him, and immediately he put his foot forward because he knew already by then the legs that was being left behind was already balanced. I observed people. I played that video over and over and over for me to know and see, because myself, I play ball myself. I used to. I don't play ball anymore. I can't even keep line anymore. But I used to. So there's certain things you do when you're playing ball. Ball coming to you. Instant. You balance yourself. You say, this is what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to do. And sometimes it happens without you even knowing. But because you practice, your body is in shape. His body wasn't in shape that time, but he did it. And that's the video that I'm looking for. So any of you that are listening that have that video, please put it in my inbox. I'd like to play it next time. But I'm showing you this. I'm just showing you all the rambling all around. But I'm showing you this on a very serious note. This is what the president did during the election. So after seeing all of these bad roads, he decided the biggest thing that I need to do for my people is to do road connection. Now the politician and the economy and all the people, they say, well, the process. Yes, please do your process. I'm doing the road. So he decided he wanted to concentrate on the road connection in Liberia based on this. Okay. Now, what do I come to play now? Samson told. The thing now is this. Okay. Now that I show you the picture, I want you to understand now that he has this thing about road. However, road design, road construction, or road building is a process. It doesn't start one day and finish the next. It's a process, long process. But the president, apparently he's saying, I don't have that much time. I want this thing done. Once again, those that are responsible, if you truly know the process of role, you will be friend with the president. He said these type of roles, if you want to put in something because you don't want to put in road, like I told you the last time. It's not driveway. For example, you can put, if those of you that own houses, you can put your driveway down. And those of you that are in the East Coast now, you put your driveway down. And so snow, you put salt down. Now the driveway, the makeup of the driveway is concrete. Of course, concrete because of sand and gravel, flash ice, and cement. Of course, that's how you mix the concrete. But concrete, the main thing is concrete and wire mesh for driveway. You don't use steel rod. You use wire mesh. Now, I say snow. You put salt down. The salt, remember now, concrete got chemical in it. The salt and the concrete start mixing. The chemical that produces from that mixture, your naked eye can't see it. Over the years, it start eating away. And once the salt finds its way to the wire mesh, it's done. The rust sitting, and as soon as rust sitting, rust and concrete don't mix. Start busting the concrete up. Because what if you look at rust, okay, I'm sorry. Maybe you don't know about steel. But anyway, rust on the steel. If you live in Monrovia, I live in the barracks, so I'm gonna throw myself back there. If you live in Monrovia, when your steel start getting rust, what happens? It peels, but it doesn't peel. It buckle up before they get out. It expand. The expansion of the steel from the rust will push the concrete out, busting the concrete. These things are powerful. If you were to stay in the lab and measure these things, you would say, wow, are these things naked eye can't see, but they're powerful. So when your concrete driveway is bust up, after putting it down a year, you want to put another one, that's fine. It's not that expensive. But you can't do that same thing with roads, because roads are very expensive. So if you're going to put a road down, you must have some serious conversation with those who are responsible for giving you a good road. Okay? So if the president, because what if the president know about road? All he knows is a decent road, put a car on, drive, that's it. What's underneath the road, he doesn't know. What is the makeup of a section of a road? He doesn't know, and he doesn't care, and he shouldn't care, because that's not his job. But if you call Samson to and say, I want to put a road down, and I will go up and say, Mr. President, it's raining. We can't, no. If you don't give me the road right now, then find your level. Of course, I'm going to respect it. Okay, Mr. President, I hear what you say. I will go back to my office and pick up my laptop and do research and do a design and show him what will happen if we build the road in the rainy season. What will be the end result? Because if he sees the end result, he will recognize that that's not the kind of end result he wants. He will change his mind. It's my job to convince the president that this route is not going to be good for us. If he insists that the road must be put down, knowing who I am, I'll say, okay, Mr. President, I respect you, I love you, and thank you for the opportunity. But I will not sit here and let myself do these kinds of stuff. Put this road down when I know it's not going to last. When I know people are going to ruin you, start spoiling your name again tomorrow. So please, get somebody else. If you want to put me somewhere else, go clean a building, that's fine. Or if you want to put me somewhere else as your friend, I can go to Total and later I'm still your friend. Anytime you need me, call me, and whatever I have to do for my country and you, I will do so. And I will leave. But that's not what is happening. Our brothers and sisters, and I will continue to say this, they're giving the president wrong information when it comes to road business. And it's not nice. It's not nice. This man, he wants something decent for our people. It's like, let me just give you an example, those of you that are watching. And if you're watching this program tonight, I think you're most likely going to enjoy yourself because, like I said, I'm going to be playing some stuff. But let me give you an example. See, let's make it personal a little bit between us. So you and I are working together, okay? So you say, Mr. Tor, you're going to Liberia, but I'm going out in the field. I won't be here to be able to purchase something. Can I give you $200 to go and buy shoes, clothes for my brothers and sisters back home? You give me the $200 and I go. Instead of me telling you, I go to the place that I'm supposed to go. I go to the place and call you, oh, my man, you think here, the $200 is not plenty. Oh. If you want quality thing, and oh, my man, that $200 I give you, just buy whatever you have to buy. Because he's not there. I go and buy cheap stuff and take it to his brothers and sisters. And the people put it on the next day and start tearing. What are they going to say? You think they're going to say the conversation the man myself had that day when I told him, say, he told me to go back. You say, oh, but what something will act like that, so? He know these things are cheap. Like, why are you going to buy cheap stuff? You think he will come back to say, yes, I told Samson to go buy cheap stuff for you? So the people back home, without understanding, they're going to have bad feeling for me. And as a human being, those are the kinds of stuff you want to avoid. And that's why it's always good to be truthful. If I tell the man, look, I'm not going to spend the $200 buy something that I know is not going to work. I'm bringing your money back, or you tell me to take the money to them, let them buy something. You say something, you don't want to help me, that's why I bring my money back, put my money in the bill, I put the money in the bill. He will be angry with me at that moment. But if you're a true friend, he will understand that, okay, Samson trying to get something decent, at least that will last longer. It's the same thing here. The president have no clue. He's not an engineer. Let me not say no clue. Sorry, Mr. President, you have a lot of clue. I apologize. You know, when I'm using my words, I have to make sure to pick precise word as I'm talking about my president of the Republic of Liberia. Mr. President, I apologize. Okay, you have a lot of clues. But what I'm talking about, the president doesn't know much about road business. He's not an engineer. I've never heard they say Mr. Weah have done construction job before. I've never heard that Mr. Weah have gone on the road to dig road and put. So I don't know that. If he does, I don't. I don't know that. So I'm speaking from the perspective of the president not having knowledge of construction and engineering. However, the people of the Republic of Liberia are paying people that will be the right-hand man of the president to give the president advice, decent advice, and not just give advice based on the fact that you want money. These things will come back to haunt you. Unless you die now, you're not, and God knows you ain't ready to die yet. Sooner or later, the president will find out that people are not serving him right, and he will fire people. And the disgrace that you're trying to avoid will come after you. Look at this, is very sad. Now, let me admit here this afternoon, I wish now that I was in Liberia, even not having a job. The time that I was in Liberia, if I've seen Mr. Falcon like that, I would have Falcon here before he knows me. I know him. I was going to go to him. I said, my man, I want to walk with you. Because if you have people like Professor Falcon to explain, most engineers, only those of us that don't know anything about engineering, let us open our mouth, blah, blah, blah. But most engineers don't like to talk. They like their work to talk for them. And if you're an engineer and you don't like to talk, but you have people like Eugene Falcon that can explain precisely exactly what you want, if you utilize that man, that young man, people will understand exactly what you guys are trying to do. This is a teamwork. If Mr. Falcon is going out in the field, Mr. Falcon should contact the Minister of Public Works. Can you guys send an engineer to me here? I'm going out in the field. So at least the person, whatever my eyes miss, the person can see that. That's how team work. Am I making sense? But I'm going to be showing you some stuff here again tonight. They don't boast well for us. They're not healthy. If you're somebody who been perusing the internet lately, you've seen some people cussing, their veins standing up, cussing, their eyes red. Some of them not cussing, but they're demanding answer from the president. Those people are Liberians. They are frustrated because certain things they were expecting not happening, and people are not explaining to them why these things are not happening. Then you say, Mr. Toe, we don't owe anybody explanation. Wrong. You owe people explanation because you're not God. Let's get that. President Weah is not God. President Weah cannot come in 6, 7, 8 months and turn Liberia over immediately to be like what you want it to be. That's not possible. But this type of information have to be conveyed to the public. It's not like the president is weak, but the president and his team are telling people, this is what we are. How do we get here? You take your time and explain. As I'm explaining right now, you go on my page, there will be some people that will be saying some nasty thing about me. But it doesn't matter to me because they're not holding my explanation. They say whatever they want to say. You would, hello, you can do all of the perfect thing you want. Somebody somewhere will hate you. They will not accept it because the fact that they're not the one in there, they're not doing it, what you're doing is wrong. However, you should take on the responsibility to explain to people the process, because even to govern a country is a process. Other people don't understand. And that's why you see most of the time people are not in leadership, they criticize. But once they get there and see from the top, they see all of the pitfall, the holes, their tone change immediately. Even here in the United States. I was speaking with a gentleman earlier. I think he will be calling here. And he pointed out something to me. I want to mention that. He said, Mr. Tour, he called me. He said, oh, I'm calling for the show. I said, no, that's the rerun. He said, oh, okay. So I asked him to call tonight. Well, I'm going to be opening. I'm hoping the young man will call. But this is what he told me. President Weah has constituencies. President Weah has base. Politics, it doesn't matter whether politics in total or politics in America. Politics is politics. You have base. You have people that come and gravitate towards you based on your idea. And the idea you sell to these people, they accept it. And they become your base. And the base must be certified. What's wrong? What part of it we don't understand? The base, seditions, must be certified. Because you tell me, you hear critics saying this. How many times you were in Liberia when those children were walking the street in the rain, no food? Joy, we are, joy, we are, joy, we are. How many of you did that? That now you call yourself a critic, and then when I tell you want to say something about me, enjoy yourself. You're going to be in it for a long time. So basically, what I'm telling you this afternoon again, like I said, I don't pull punches. I'm not a sedition. I'm a car-carrying member of Liberty Party, but sooner or later, Liberty Party will still kick me out of the party. Well, I'm mad. You call yourself Liberty Party president? No, I'm not president. I'm just being truthful. If the president do something that is not decent, I will say so. I'm not afraid. Okay, but let's go back to this conversation. President Weah, the election is over, of course. But guess what? They have a base. And that base, the core, the inner core of CDC. Not that they must be certified, but at least they must understand the value, the route, and the direction of their party. That's their party, my people. Why are we all here fighting, cussing, and carrying on? CDC and the coalition was elected. Election matters. Election, as Obama would say, have consequence. Consequence is here now. Why are we fighting? Why are we cussing each other? It's not decent. It's not. Let us accept the fact that these people won the election. Prepare yourself for the next election. Start putting all of your binder together. Yes, if there's time to criticize like comments this recently, you do that. They will come hard back on you, but that doesn't mean you're going to run out. It's your job as an opposition to point out the fault. You seize on the mistakes of the ruling party. That's understandable. But for us, those of us, the plebeians, I call myself plebeian now, the plebeians here in the little ground, we're cussing each other. You cussing this, cussing that. When they ready to cuss, when they ready to get on Facebook, their eyes red, their veins standing up. In order for you to, those of you, I mean, we all been in confusion before. I mean, I grew up in Maria. I'm not stranger to confusion. I'm not stranger to flower. In fact, I used to be flower king in total. So I know in order for you to put yourself in that position, to be able to cuss somebody, you most of the time, not even in your own shell, you have your own shell, you're out of it. In order for you to get into the cussing mode. And once that is done, once you're done, certify yourself for you to get back in that shell. Sometimes it takes time. And sometimes you develop headache. Your head start hating. Because you're trying to cool down when your body is not quite ready to cool down. Why are we putting ourselves through these things? Elections have consequences. Can we now understand that basic concept? I don't know how I got on this one. So what are we talking, Ro? What am I doing with the election concept? But anyway, on a very serious note, I thought I'd just put that in there. Now that I've given you all of this background, and once again, I'm going to be showing you video. And the video is not to degrade. It's to educate, enlighten, and shine light on what I think is happening. It's left for you to make your own judgment. It's left for you. It's your responsibility now how you utilize the information I'm going to give you. Somebody that providing the information to you, must be responsible in the process of giving you the information. I should not come across as somebody who is tinting your judgment, who is telling you how your judgment should be sent out. No. I give you the information as it is, and I explain from my own heart what I think is happening, from my own experience of what I know about road business, what is happening. It's left for you to make your judgment. Accept it. But if you accept it, I'm asking you also to be responsible how you take that information and the utilization of that information. The responsibility lies with you now. It's not with me anymore. From here to you, it's my job to make sure that I don't give you the information or inciting you, saying some words that perhaps are not suitable for this type of conversation. I will do my best not to do that. I'm a human being like any other person. There will be some situation here that I will show and will evoke certain emotion in me. I'm gonna try my best to control my emotion, but I'm a human being. I'm from Total. I come from America, so please spare me that emotion. Something. All right, let's go, folks. Let me show you. Okay, the first video that I'm gonna be showing here this afternoon is they call it box cover, and I will tell you why. Okay, before I tell you why, let me show you. What do I want to do? Okay, I'll do it the way I had it planned. I'm not going to change my plan. I will show you a video, a box cover. Now this box cover, this is how the box cover are made here in the United States. And how do you use the box cover? Box cover are used in area where you don't want to build bridges. In area where building bridges is going to be too expensive. In area where and it's going to be unnecessary. So you use box cover to take the water through so it doesn't go over your road. But at the same time, the box cover should be strong enough to be able to take the weight of the traffic. So let me now show you the design of a box cover. Not the design, but the process, the making of a box cover. Sam Sinto, LIBERIA Public Radio. Let me take myself out of this picture first. Okay. Now watch. It's a very short video, but I'm going to show you many videos here tonight. Sam Sinto, let's watch this.
Cleaning is the life of the form and essential for maximum product performance. The inner core of the form is built to meet the required box cover dimensions. The pallet joint, or female joint, is placed around the bottom of the inner core with great attention to detail.
Those are forms, by the way.
Release agent is then applied to the form in a thin layer. This helps the concrete release from the metal during product stripping. The lift pins are placed on the form. Lift pins are generally placed on the inside for product stripping and the outside for lifting in the working position. Preparing the rebar cage involves cutting rebar to specific lengths and bending rebar that meets engineering specification. The rebar reinforcement is placed around the form's inner core. Adding wheel spacers and rod end wraps ensures that the rebar has the proper embedment and correct concrete cover. A pre-pour inspection for each box cover is performed before it is poured. It is a thorough inspection process that helps ensure a correct finished product. The outer jacket is placed around the form. The header joint, or male joint, is placed and fitted with great attention to detail. A second pre-pour inspection is conducted and the product is ready to pour. 3 minutes later, the concrete is thoroughly mixed and ready to be dumped in the transport bucket. Concrete is then poured into the box culvert form. To ensure proper concrete quality, concrete temperature, slump, density, air content, and strengths are tested daily. 18 hours later, the concrete has reached stripping strength and is strong enough to remove from the form. The inner core jackets and outer jackets are then removed. The post-pour inspection is completed after manufacturing, further ensuring the same high-quality results time after time. The product is lifted and carried to the yard by a fork truck, where it will be stored until delivery to another satisfied Barger & Sons customer. Cleaning is the life of the form and essential.
That's what you do. These people, they're putting this thing down. I can look at this and say, I'm going to guess. Maybe they're trying to put some sort of a, now because I don't cover here, it's not pipe. So maybe they smooth the bottom and then they build a wall and pour something over. So it becomes like a box cover. Homemade box cover. That's what you do. These people, they're putting this thing down. I can look at this and say, I'm going to guess. Maybe they're trying to put some sort of a, so there's other show that I have the other day. I told you exactly what these people are trying to do. Okay, but the first picture that I show you is a box cover. Okay, the box cover is made, the opening, that inside part, that's what the water gonna, they make the series of them, not just one. They make 10, 15 of them, depends on how long you want your box cover to look like, or to be, the length. So they put them together, and then it becomes like a pipe. Water go through it while car drive over it. Now I'll show you the LIBERIA box cover. Folks, it's not funny. This is a very serious business. I just show you what they were trying to do. Now watch this box cover. As the picture that are coming up now, okay, as they get closer, that pipe that goes across the road, that's a box cover. Watch. This is in LIBERIA, Dole community. See the box cover up there? That's a box cover. They come and stand over. Right there. That's a box cover. Look. Okay, I hope you were able to see the bus cover. The first picture that I show you is where the people are building the bottom. And look at that bus cover. But I hope you were able to see upstream. I don't know whether that's an upstream. But look how much water up there. And if you look downstream, that water that's going to be collected from that whole area, they're going to dump it in other people's yard. Those are the kind I told you before. Okay? That okay. Okay, I told you before. Folks, just give me okay. There we go. I told you before that this is the time that those who are responsible supposed to go out instead of building the road, go out and make an assessment. This water that coming here, we're going to put a bus cover here. The water that going across the road is going to go somewhere. Where is it going? You saw the guy say, oh, it's going to go over there. Over there, people live there. People live over there. And you're going to put water over there now. What happened to them? Not only, here's the thing. Not only are you collecting the water now, but the water from over the, you know, when you're doing these things, they have area that you do watershed area. And they have a formula that you use for asphalt, the formula that you use for roofing, the formula that you use for concrete, you know, paving and grass and things like that. So all of those things are taken, but I'm not going to go through that. Okay, but the amount of water that coming in depends on how fast is the water come out from the area that you're calculating. The water that flow over the grass is slower than the water flowing over cement. That would make sense to you, wouldn't that? The water that flow over the between trees and grass is slower than the one coming from over the zinc, because nothing there over the zinc to hold it. Okay, that makes, I hope that would make sense to you. Okay. All right. So I'm not too sure what's going on with my stuff here. I hope you guys are still watching. Okay. All right. So what's going on? Here we go again tonight. All right. Okay. Whatever. I hope you're, because I can see here that my system is still running. So please give me 1 minute here, please. Okay. Samson told LeBron Pop Radio I'm having some technical issue, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, let's do this. Okay, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I'll be right back. Samson told LeBron Pop Radio. I'll even do my commercial and things like that, and the system start slowing me down already. Because I like to know what I'm doing, so I watch myself. Let me now go to the backup system. Okay. Let me go to backup system and see if I'm still on, for goodness sake. Okay, folks, just bear with me. Just bear with me. We got time. If you have to go anywhere, that's okay with me as well. You don't have to necessarily stay. You can leave if you want. That's okay. Okay, that's my backup system. Okay, all right. I know I'm on. Okay, so as I was saying here, the bus cover, the one they put out over there, the water going somewhere to people place. By this time, you don't do no road construction. You go and do an assessment, so that when you're ready, you don't face this kind of stuff. Let me play that again. Watch, folks. These are very interesting time. When the Ghana guy, if you listen to it, when he stood over the box cover and said the water gonna come here and go that way, when Professor Eugene Falcon turned to that area, look at his face. Look at the surprise on his face. What? The water gonna, what happened to them? That was going through his mind. I want you to watch this video again. I want you to watch it. These are things that people, it's not just something you want to do overnight. Okay? These are time, you know, they're very difficult sometimes. Watch this again. Let's watch this. Okay. The guy will be walking towards him. Here he is. He's walking. Okay. All right. No, they're gonna stop. Look at the other house. Look at it. Right. Let's see. See the mask cover? Look up on the side. See that water over there? Now look on the other side. You see all that water between the houses? See it? See all that water? Where's that water going? So now watch. As the guys try to explain to Eugene Factor, Mr. Eugene Factor, what is going on. Watch Eugene Factor. I hope you video pick up. Watch his face. See houses back there. See, look at Eugene Factor now. The man who likes to talk. He's thinking. See that? Look at his face. Folks, this is a thing we're talking about. Okay? And if you ask Eugene Factor running your day, say, no, nothing was going through my mind, I was okay. Yeah, of course, it's going to. But this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. You're going to put a road down. And that's not the interesting one. The interesting one's coming. You're going to put a road down. Okay? It's raining. It's the best time to go and observe what area is flooding. Now, here's the interesting thing, the engineering interesting thing that I want, the engineering part of that I want you to see. You saw when they were climbing over the box, how high you think that box is from the floor, from the ground there. It's about 1.5 feet. Some of them, for me, if I ready to climb that, I will hold my knee because my knee hurting already. But that thing is high. The reason I'm pointing the height of that thing, they're gonna have to fill that whole row up. And usually, for you to have a decent row over the box cover, you must have 2 inches of cover, 2 inches of dirt. And then just the dirt. Then you have to have what, 4 inches or so of asphalt. You're 6 inches already. Look at the area, the side of the road where those people live. If they live that road like that, it's raining. That's the only area that have a box cover. What happened to those other people's houses? They're going to be flooded every time. And if you look at that whole thing, there's no gutter where the water can go into the gutter, and you have a sidewalk and you protect the people's houses behind there. Because they live in those communities, so they don't deserve sidewalk. Those are the kinds of stuff you have to think about ahead of time. If you have a decent design, if you're not just building the road based on instinct, if you have a decent design, you will have those things in there. You will make sure the sidewalk is provided for the people. Because they're going to have to walk. I will show you what I'm talking about. Okay? These things are not something that happen overnight. People must think these things through. You're going to have a community. Not everyone in that community have cars. In fact, that community will be served better if they have sidewalk, because most of them will be utilizing the sidewalk to go places. They're not going to be going places with cars. Most of them don't have cars, except to take taxi. So let's think about it. See, if I were there and the president said, I want road here, that's fine. As an engineer, the first thing you want to think about, what is the traffic volume of this road? How many cars go up and down on the road? There's two purposes in trying to find that information. To know the type of design strength of your road. Also to know if you want to give a certain shoulder. Also to know what type of safety feature you want to put in there. What is the speed limit in that section of the road? You're going to put a road down, people drive anytime they want. What is the speed limit that's going to be designated for this road? They're much, much more involved than just building a road. You can't just put a road there and say, I put a road, I get to build a road. No. You can do that. But what is the purpose if the end result is not what you have in mind? Okay? If I was there, first of all, I won't allow them to build this thing like this. Look around there. The guy was coming to explain what. I'm not too sure if he's working for Public Works or what. I don't know. I don't know his contractual agreement with the government. I don't know, and I'm not going to speak to that. But I want you to observe, as I'm going to show you the next video. Look and see if you find gray stakes. You know, when you're building things, you got stakes that tell you gray marker, this area is, and see how many gray stakes you're going to count. The whole thing I saw one, and it will be difficult. Those of you that don't know what a gray stake is, you won't even know what it is. But the gray stake in construction site tells the construction workers the elevation, the finished grade, the finished elevation of what you want. And this is the time. You don't go doing construction now. You send surveyor out for them to set grades, so that the next crew that coming, they just go with my grade that I set. If any mistake, it's on me. But you have a guy. Look at the guy that was explaining. I'm not trying to put anybody down. But what, did you see any other person around there trying to help him explaining? You want to tell me this one guy, he's a machine operator. He's a foreman of the road high construction. He's a grade setter. 3, no one else. Yeah, he's a foreman. He knows a lot. I agree. But there are certain things that he depends on people to give that information to him. And Minister Fakon, he's not an engineer. So the guy is telling him, for all you know, the guy could tell him the things that are nice, decent. But look at it. Look at it. In order for, I mean, you saw it. Both sides of that cover, and that cover is not black. Both sides of the cover, you have water. That means the water is not flowing into that cover. Because if the water is flowing in, there will be no water on one side. The water will be going down. You didn't see that. You saw like a pound. For what? Why are we doing this to ourselves, my people? Why? We have people that can do these kinds of work. I'm not boasting. I can stay right here in Sacramento and design that road for them, free of charge. The only thing it's going to cost them is time. Free of charge. You're going to do these kinds of stuff. If you're going to, this is another idea I'm going to give them free advice. If you're going to do these kinds of, first thing you do is contact Google Earth and buy Google Earth. Buy the part of Monrovia that will give you clear picture. Those of you that know something of Google Earth, go on Google Earth, you'll see the ground of Monrovia. You'll see the street. But that's not what it sells. That's free stuff. So you can't see past, what, maybe 1,500 feet. But I mean, if you buy, you can go and see rocks. You don't have to be street-driven car to show you Google Earth. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about plan view of Google Earth. You'll be able to see things, but you have to buy it. But they're building it based on what they want to do. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, if you stay with me tonight, you will enjoy yourself. Let me show you another one. Now, this one that I'm going to be showing you is a very interesting one. The reason why I say these people shouldn't be building a road in the rainy season. You'll see Minister Falcon start walking. I caught a lot of stuff. Of course, I caught a lot of stuff up. But you will see him start walking, and then when he gets to a specific area, no longer able to walk because the mud. And he was not quite prepared for that. So he had to jump on the sidewalk that doesn't exist. Samson too. But of course, I like that because he also recognizing these people, if we don't provide sidewalk for them, they're going to go through a lot. And I hope Minister Faka, from her experience yesterday, will understand that these people need sidewalk. Now let's watch this video. It's a very interesting video. Samson told LIBERIA Public. Folks, I'm not trying to boast. Yes, I am. What do you think of that? Samson, I'm just poking the fun here, folks. It's a very serious business. It's a very serious business. We have to take these things serious. Because the thing that we're putting in the community, we expect it to last for some time. You don't want to pour road, then next year you want to pour road again. So let's watch this. Let's watch it. Folks, I apologize for my quality of the video tonight, but that's okay. I think you can hear me. Forget about the picture. Listen to me. Samson told LIBERIA. Let's watch this video. It's a very interesting video. Very interesting video. You will see Minister Faka. What I want you to look at is they couldn't even work because the first picture you see the water sitting by the homemade bass cover. Okay, if you're gonna make, these are some of the stuff. If you're gonna make a bass cover like this, you pour hole in it. Since it's homemade, you pour hole in it so the water can get in there. But look at this. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. I'm enjoying myself again this evening. Samson told. I'm doing the best on a Wednesday afternoon. Let's listen to this and let's watch this video. Look at the water. Look at the equipment. It's not even moving. Look at around that equipment. Yeah, you see, Minister Faka is getting off the road. He's on a sidewalk that doesn't exist. I'm enjoying myself. Look at the road. You can only walk in if you have a boot. Why? Look. Why must they insist to build in the rainy season? Is bike on. Now watch this interesting thing here. Watch.
This one right here. This place I will bring this So this place will be excavated and then we'll lay the pipes here so that this water you see here and we get okay. So that's the reason why before.
Now watch Minister Faka, please. Watch and listen.
Now going off the road, you only come and saturate the meat into the ground. So obviously you have the people here. That's how it works.
So it's going to go through there. I'm sure you're going to dig a little bit more to get it back.
Yeah. You hear that? Look at the water back here.
Right. Until you have the pipe. Okay. So that means when the time you get up here, water will not be setting over there after this.
You hear that?
But not as much. I said like that.
Because what is going to happen?
Okay. Did you hear the question the minister was asking? He himself, let me see. Kwame Blair, I will be calling you when I open the line. Please be the first to call. I like for you to make your contribution. So please don't go away. Okay. But here's the point that I'm making. You saw Minister Fakam, who is not engineer, was a little bit concerned. You're going to put that water over there? And then he tell, oh, so when you put the water, you're going to dig a little bit and bend it. Because the people living by there, the thing is, they're not quite ready to move on with the construction. I don't believe that. Okay? So those are the kinds of stuff. Since we have this engineer on here tonight, I'm not gonna talk too much. I'll bring him on. Maybe he can challenge me here. I like that. I would like that. Don't come and just agree with me. Please disagree with me. And let's you and I have a conversation on it. I appreciate that. Okay. I'm talking about Kwame Blair now. Okay. He said, this is what he said. He said, I am a civil engineer by profession. I want to call and make my contribution. How can I call? I will tell you. I will open the line. Blair, don't go away, please. Okay. So I'm going to be opening it up here. The next video I'm going to be showing you, folks. Now, this is a schematic of how you're supposed to replace a pipe. Now, you say, what does this have to do with it? What I want you, yeah, you can pay attention to the pipe and stuff, but what I want you to look at, as I'm going to be playing you the next video, I want you to look at the makeup of the roll. How do they make these? What is the makeup of the roll? Okay, and they did a very good job, just like you skinning a deer. Your skin is they skin out, and then you take some of the fat out, something like that. So let's watch this. It's very interesting, and that's the only reason why I want you to see. I want you to see the makeup of what roll I made up. Watch this. I want you to watch this. It's very interesting. Very interesting. It's an old pipe. They're taking it out and putting a new pipe in there. But I want you to watch the makeup of the roll. That's the pipe. See what they did? They just scrubbed the dirt, the grass out. See, after they take the asphalt, you see the base? That's the base. They're taking the whole pipe out. Now watch what they're gonna do. Gravel down. Now they're gonna put a pipe over it. Watch. Here comes the pipe. They're gonna put gravel all over the pipe. Put a roll by. First they put a dirt over it. A base, pipe over the seal. There we go. I just show you that, so you understand when I'm talking about the road, the structure section of the road. That's how you come up with a structure. You see the quota, it's sitting by itself. They're underneath the quota, they have the base made out of different material, whatever material you specify. Then on that, then they have a sub base. Okay, but in this case, they decided when they took the pipe out to put the pipe back on and put gravel over it. So that the reason here is this: they're not stupid. When you're pulling asphalt down, asphalt is a continuous process. But here they have broken the process by cutting the asphalt. So they know very well that the water gonna seep through the crack, the ceiling. It can't stop it. But just so that the water will not sit around it, they put gravel all around the pipe. So when the water go through the crack, it doesn't sit on the road. It finds its way between the gravel and get out because the pipe is sloped. Does it make sense? All right. I think this is going to be a very interesting. I hope this guy is still here. Okay. Let me open the line. Where is it? What happened? Oh, okay. Kwame Blair, please, I'm going to open the line. I'd like for you to call me. Folks, it's not just Kwame Blair. I'm just making fun of it. Give me a call because it's very important that we have a conversation on these things. Sam Sinto, I'm not going to be here that long tonight. If the question too much for me, if I ever answer, I will run away. You want to hold me back? Sam Sinto, yes, my number right there. Sam Sinto, let me get off that one and wait for you to call me. Give me a call, 916-533-2048. I'm waiting for your call. All right, give me a call. Let me go on to this other one. But folks, these are some of the things that if you being a civil engineer, let me let the brother know right away, so you don't come on my show and start rocking right away. Being a civil engineer doesn't mean that you're a road engineer. Let's remember that. Civil engineer, if he's a true civil engineer, he know what I'm talking about. But give me a call now. 916-533-2048. Okay. People that wanted to know what the number was. Okay. This is Sam Sinto, LIBERIA Public Radio. Give me a call. 916. Let me get out of there. I'll go this way. Okay, so you say I didn't even see the number. The number blocking the number. That number there. Give me a call. Kwame, I'm waiting for your call. Mr. Blair, I'm waiting for your call. Okay. Maybe he's not gonna call. Okay, that's fine. If he doesn't call, that's fine. I'll continue with my conversation. All right, but it doesn't mean Kwame on a very serious note, guys. Give me a call. Anybody? Okay, here's a call coming. Sam Sinto, LIBERIA Public, your name and where you're calling from. What's on your mind?
My name is Kwame Black, calling from Chicago, North Dakota.
Okay, what's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, I'm an engineer by profession. I work with the city, and I'm presently a project engineer for the city. I monitor most of the city engineering projects like underground and road construction, and I also do a couple of design work in the winter for our new development. I just wanted to ask you things about what you were discussing about road construction.
No, but Kwame, I want you to challenge me. I want you to challenge me, please. Since you're an engineer, let's talk about it from an engineering perspective a little bit. I want you to challenge some of the assumptions that I made here, please.
Yeah, one of the everything I wanted to say, since you already played the video, like when you design urban area and rural area, there's two different design perspectives. Like you were talking about the bar cover and something where they make the concrete and stuff. And most often, like for other developed country or for let's say rural area, if you pay rural, the most easier way or channel or water is what? The cover. Just show the cover. That's what I wanted to measure on. If you take a different understanding of using the bar instead of the cover.
But let me ask you this, Kwame. Since, like I said, you're engineer, I'm an engineer. So let's start from that perspective and let's try to enjoy ourselves. How do you even come up with the selection of the cover, sir?
Okay, this is what the selection of the cover comes a day. First thing you got to do is compaction testing. You know, if you want for us to go into detail.
Yeah. That's you say you have to do what? The first thing you do is what?
Compaction testing to know the strength of the stone before doing your design work. And I don't want to emphasize on that because it will take most of our time and other people waiting to
No. Kwame, listen. This is LIBERIA Public Radio. Samson too is running the show. And said, I just want you to actually have an engagement with me. And since I'm lucky and blessed tonight to have an engineer, we can talk until we tire talking. And they will listen to us. Go ahead.
Yeah, the first thing, especially in what you were explaining, I think the whole process is supposed to come to an end because if building the road is a whole different level perspective. You got a design, like you got soil testing, you got like a survey for you to know the elevation is peaking, and before you design what type of material to use, you got to do traffic study, all stuff before just to know what type of road you want to build there. But I don't want to go into detail. Let's just go for what they are doing now, and I'll talk about a video with the minister taking football on their project. And you just mention of the Star Wars. I saw a couple of, I don't want to say drainage or something because it's not a drainage. I think the better way to do that is to put a very good fencing on the side of the road that water can flow through to the appropriate channel. That's one of the things I'm looking at. A good fencing that has a manhole, everything that they know that way.
Are you saying they should put an open channel disc?
No, not an open channel. Not an open channel, a steel channel with a manhole.
Okay. But then wait a minute. You're coming from when I show you that. Let's speak a little bit on the video. When you saw the video, did you see any kind of gray stakes?
Did I see what?
Did you see any kind of gray stakes?
No, I did not see that.
Did you see any laugh? Forget about gray stake. Did you see any laugh?
This is happening. I'm not talking about elevation. I don't know if they use elevation in Liberia at this time.
Okay.
I don't know if they have equipment like the GPS and the level loops and all these equipment. I don't know if they have it and they did a survey before starting all these projects and stuff like that.
But okay. Let me give you that. But let's look at the cover, the bass cover, the who I call it homemade bass cover. The bass cover you saw the water up there, you saw the water downstream. Does it look like something that is flowing at all?
No, it don't. Even the water don't have a channel. When is that water pouring? And that's why in our engineering division we have a specific department that is called water deal that deal with ice water. Ice water, that's for instance, those who don't understand is rainwater. The water that gets in over rainfall. Keep water sick. And where is water supposed to go?
Okay. Let me just now that I have you and you can understand a little bit of what I'm saying, I appreciate it. If I was there, first thing I would try to do is to try to do my watershed. See which one of the area that is contributing to that particular cover. The contributor factors that are involved. The water, first of all, I do all my watershed to calculate how much Q that is coming to that cover. Before I can even select the cover, the size of the cover, based on the queue that coming in. Because if you don't know how much water coming, how the heck you going to select the size of the pipe or the cover you're going to have? Number one. The second thing is, if I was there doing it, another thing I'm going to do is, now that I'm done with the survey and finished selecting my cover based on the watershed, what have you, the downstream where people live that I show you, I think it's going to be one of the concerns. Would you not agree?
I agree with that because you don't know where the water is going.
Okay. All right. Okay.
If you try to in the city and overflow and do the harm, I don't know what design criteria did they use to build that road.
Okay. All right. I think we're pretty much on the same. I don't know that either. Basically, they decide to build a road and they're putting a road down. But anyway, what do you make of my analysis? The fact, even though we don't have any kind of design criteria set for these people, the speed limit, the structure section, and everything. What do you make of my analysis? Is that, am I on point, or I'm just blowing smoke here?
No, you all point, but what is different thing I see there is design criteria that work in developed countries here than the one that works in less developed countries.
But Kwame, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to me. The fundamentals of engineer doesn't change. The design criteria that gave you, I mean, the fundamental that gave you the design criteria has not changed. So you can't say because it's in Liberia, therefore the application of the fundamental must be changed. Then I will disagree with you on that. Go ahead.
No, what I'm trying to say, for instance, look at it. If they had GPS to get us, I mean, or baseline, or I mean, if they have a level 2, they were supposed to do something. These people did not do something. They did not do something for passion to test the stuff. So,
Okay.
for instance, look at what happened in Morovia there. The people put a Bay Road, and it's a Kwame area like that. Don't know the strength of the fall. If that's going to focus that on it, then you'll see in the first another day, it will not spend 1 month, 2 months, you'll see that plane will start breaking up.
Okay. All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I agree with you. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Okay. All right, folks. Something I amaze myself. I'm looking for a fight. This young man came up to help me do an analysis, and I'm trying to. No, I'm not. Thank you, Kwame. I appreciate your contribution. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my brother. I hope you're not a stranger, because this is what I intend to do. Is to do raw uh, analysis, and again, it's not to put people down. I just want to point out to our brothers and sisters that when I'm saying these things, I'm not making it up. And so I try to break it down to the point where, at least, even if you're not an engineer, you will understand the basic. Now, why would the cover, going back to that cover, why would they put a cover down, and try to smooth the bottom of it? The smoothing of the bottom, first of all, in order for it, I'm not saying that it's quite wrong. No, it's Liberia, so maybe they're trying to improvise. I appreciate that. But if you're going to do that, you have to set a grade. Can you tell me, let me put this picture up again. And look at the guy. Look at the guy. Okay, I want you to look at the guy that is doing the concrete work. Look, and Kwame was talking about that here. He doesn't even have a level. Okay, now a level, there's two different type of level now: a hand level and level as an instrument. I'm talking about level now. Level, the missing level. Let's put it that way. People understand that one. Okay. But let me put this picture up. I want you to look at the guy that is taking the concrete from the truck. Okay. Does it look like anybody around there that have level in their hand? Does it look like anybody with trowel, to smooth the concrete over? Okay. Now, he pulling the concrete, he hauling it towards himself. Basically, what he's doing is to fill towards us. Concrete, like they look around there. Folks, this is very sad. I'm gonna make a comment on this here. What's the pump to take that water from the concrete? The concrete is already mixed, specific mix, with a water content that is already specified. You're gonna mix the water that is already in there up with the concrete. Concrete gonna lose its strength. It was designed for a specific strength. You're not gonna get it. You're gonna get soupy. And it's not even going to last because the water going to take over the concrete and it look like sand. Because what is concrete? What is concrete? Cement, flash eye, gravel, sand. So if you pour water like this, your gravel pipe is going to be exposed anyhow. You're not going to be able to do it. But the sand, the concrete going to take, the water going to take the concrete is the paste. It's a dust. Going to take it away. So it becomes sand. It doesn't hold anything. You put now the water that is coming. The people are killing me. The water that coming from that community doesn't look like any kinds of the turbidity. Oh, did I say turbidity? Oh, I made a mistake. Something to please don't start that. Forget turbidity. Okay, don't ask me what it is. But anyway, the water coming from that area does it look like water you would drink? No, water coming from that area, all kinds of acidic chemical that are going to go through that pipe with a sand. You know how long before that pipe start breaking up? Why we're doing this to ourselves like this? Why? This is not a farm road. This is a road that you're hoping when people see these kinds of road, the community will be developed. People, brothers and sisters here in the diaspora, here's what we're missing. This is sad. This is sad. Okay? When you do these things, let me put my number back up again. Okay, when you do these things, you build a decent road. People in the diaspora, your brothers and sisters in the diaspora, say, oh, they say the Dole community they got new road. But man, I'm going over there. My brother got land where they go develop that place. That's how development starts. People come and build nice houses in that area now, thinking they're gonna have a decent road. 2 years later, the pipe falling apart. The road all falling apart. What are we doing? You would think, I'm not too sure, like I stated that before, I'll say again. Folks, give me a call. You have my number there. Don't let Kwame be the only person calling me here tonight. Give me a call. Give me a call. And we can have a discussion. The reason why Kwame said, I was hoping that Kwame and I are going to have a intellectual, well, of course, intellectual. I'm sorry, I take that back. I was hoping that Kwame and I were going to have a engineering, that's what the word I'm looking for, engineering conversation. And I think we did. So that's fine. But if you're not an engineer, give me a call. We can talk about it. Ask any question about the process. Don't ask no question about how come you so fine like that. Don't ask me that kind of question because I don't know how to answer it. Samson too, I'm on fire tonight. Samson too, like bro, Paparido. I'm not gonna be here that long. I got about 15 more minutes. I'll be. Did I say? Yeah, 15 more minutes. I'll be out of here, folks. On a very serious note. I'll show you a series of video. Okay. What I'm hoping, and I will pray, it's not me getting job in Liberia. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. My interest, free, no pay. I can stay right here and teach how these things supposed to happen. The good thing is you have some good engineers. When I went back home the last time to teach a class to a friend of mine, people call him, somebody call, okay, maybe one of them. Oh, okay. Samson told LeBron Pobrido, what's your name and what's on your mind, where you're calling from?
Hey, my name is Todd Kingsley. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Oh, welcome, Chief. What's on your mind?
I've been hearing about the road construction in the community. And I was hoping to get an update about how far I went. I've been living in your community since 1995 when I moved to Agriculture. And I know the situation of the road there and all the community, everything, how things are very bad there. So I heard you talking about the drainage system in the community. So I want to know, like, what's the quality of the drainage? Is it something good they're doing or what is your concern? I just started listening to you.
My brother, could you please speak into the phone a little bit because it's difficult for me to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better.
Okay. So I'm saying I lived in some communities from 1999 to 2004. And then
I know how bad the road in Joe community is. So when you're talking about the road construction and the drainage system, so I wanted you to kind of inform me a little bit. What is the quality of the road they are building there? You know, because I think Joe community need a really better road drainage system, because the water in that community when it comes to the rainy season is very bad. It's very bad. And if they put a poor drainage system there, it's not going to work. I heard other callers saying that the water there is not some water that people drink, and it is true. Even the well, when you drink water, when you drink the well in the community, the water is not safe. Beginning 1999 to 2001, 2002, people used to drink the water in that community that your brother was talking about. It was very bad for people. And I got sick in that community in 2002. So I know what's going on there. So I don't know how far the road construction is right now, but what are your concerns? What are you trying to say about the quality of the road? Then you can update me, because I don't know much about it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Sit tight. I will tell you. Okay. Thank you very much. Hello, Samson to LeBron Public Radio. What's your name and what's on your mind? Hello? Okay. All right. So you can call back. Okay. Okay, my brother, the question you asked is a decent question. I too, I didn't just come to America. My man, look, we all are from Town. That's the first thing you have to know. Town in Grand Juda County. So when I came to Monrovia, I was a little bit, I didn't have fasting. So first I was living with my mom in Monrovia, and then she and my dad, they decided to go back in the interior. I said, I'm not going back to Town. I'm staying here. So I got to hustle in Monrovia. The only thing I never did was go stealing from people's thing and getting fight. Yeah, I got in a fight, because you have to defend yourself. But anyway, the point here is this: I too used to live in Cloudtown. Cloudtown, the part that is way by the river. Okay. Before I make my statement, let me answer this guy. Samson told LeBron Public Radio, what's your name and what's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, good evening. My name is Professor. I call from Pennsylvania.
Thank you for joining us. What's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, just tuned to your show, and I see you having a lot of concerns and discussing a lot of concerns as relate to the form of services in Liberia. But as a Liberian, I'm also thinking, because you are also making the good point over there. But the question to you is, because now many of your followers, the audience, we have the knowledge you have when it comes to the road construction thing. So who are you exactly directing those problems to? Because I think we have people responsible for this kind of thing in Liberia. So are you just discussing it as a concerned Liberia, or as a professional person you just discussing it, or you just directing it to people who will be responsible and will take on as asking you?
Thank you. Listen in, and I will tell you. I will answer that. Okay. Thank you very much for your question. I appreciate it. That's a wonderful question. Okay. There are two questions to me, and I will answer them before I get off the air. So, but anyway, I too used to live in Cloudtown, and when I was living in Cloudtown those days, okay, when you leave from the main road, you walk a little bit, then you start walking on the elevator planes, because the house we were living in, they built it as on top of the wood, the stakes. So the house itself is elevated. So when the tide comes in, the tide stay under the house. But when it rains bad and the tide comes in, the tide usually comes in the house, and then it's difficult for us to go to town. I used to work in Monrovia, so you would take all your clothes, leave your underwear on, put your clothes over your hair, your shoes, everything, and walk, because the water comes to your waist, and walk until you get to Town on the main road. Then you put your clothes on, take a taxi or the bus or whatever it is, and go to town to go to work. or go to school. So I know what those things are. It's not like I'm not experienced with these things. Now the brother asked a question. He said when he was living there, the condition, the road condition, the fact that the water in that area. I understand that because that is a marsh land. Now, if you're going to build a road, now you brought this up. Let me push this as well. If you're going to build a road that is on a marshland and you're not going to be able to control the water, the question you ask basically is let them build a road, and then when the tide comes out, when the water high, tide level is high, let it swallow the road. Is that what you want? So what do? This is what the elevation comes about. If you do a decent elevation, first thing you will know the existing water table, water level. That's the first thing you're going to know. Okay, it's not raining today. This is dry season. This is the water level. This is the elevation of existing condition. If it rains, this is going to be the elevation of the high tide level. And you know the difference of the elevation. What do you want your road to be? If you look at the houses in the area, yeah, you can see that they're already submerged, some of them underwater, the flow, the water going to the houses. Okay, those things can be taken care of. I'm not asking the government to, they don't have the capacity to do that right now. But the point is this: if you're going to build a road, knowing full well what the condition is in that area, you lift the road. You lift the road, but you don't do it in a rainy season. You lift the road. When I mean lift the road, you're going to have to build more dirt, bring more dirt and pile the road until the desired elevation is reached. But guess what? When you do that, you also now, because the elevation is this high and the elevation of the people building, they're way out here. You see the difference of elevation now? So now you're gonna have to find means for these people not to get drowned. Okay? By you providing adequate drainage system. The water that in that area, it goes towards the ocean. So the ocean, anywhere you go, when they say sea level, that's the ocean. So any part of the area in Monrovia, most of them are higher than the sea level, except down water side. That place right there, Franklin Street, and that other place, where the place can never get dry because it's below sea level. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they should go and just build the ditches and stuff like that. No, because even the bus cover they're going to put over there, that bus cover not going to help them. Because if what tide level goes up, it's going to swallow the back cover. So what's the use? You lift the road so that the road will be dry and having people going to places. Those people who are going to be driving or taking car to their own yard, they also can build up that whole marshland area. If you're building it, they should have had a builder to understand that the flow of that building must be higher than the nearest water that is around. In order, those of you that live in a house, go outside to your house. You will find out that the flow in your house is higher than the surrounding areas, because if it rains, they don't want water coming in your house. They want water to go away from your house. If you know how to control water in road construction, okay, in building buildings, the main thing you want to do is to control the water from coming into your property, into your facility. Now let me go to the second question. My brother, that was a beautiful question. Who are my audience? They call me Bloku. Alexander Yara gave me that name. They call me Bloku. Elephant skin. Thick. You from Totan, but I'm from Totan. When they kill elephant in Totan, when they bring it for us to eat it, your mom gotta cook the elephant skin for 3 to 4 days. That's who I am before you can eat it. That's why they call me Bloku. No, but serious. So I laugh. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is the point Bloku trying to make to you, my brother, is this. Thanks for that question. No, I'm not targeting people specifically. I'm putting the information out there. However, I told you from the beginning, maybe you were not here from the beginning, that I must be responsible in how my information gets to you. I must come across as somebody who is trying his best to enlighten you and not to incite. That's not the intent. Now, in the process of trying to convey my information to you, I consider myself an engineer because that's what I do here. That's my job. So if I see these things that are not up to standard, I need to point them out. And if you, as a designer, you responsible for this condition, in the process of me pointing it out, if it means for me to call your name because that's your responsibility, I would do so. But I'm not degrading that person. I'm not challenging that person's credentials. It's two different things. I'm putting out information that I believe to be truth. And in the process, those who are connected to my information, if they get their name get called, so be it. So again, the information about the road business that I'm putting out. First thing, if I see something, public work specifically, because they have some decent engineers over there. I know a guy that worked for public work. We used to work here. He was working for private. I was working for the state. I still work for the state. I'll get fired here. So he was working for private. I'm working for the state. But whenever we go out to do construction, the guy ain't probably working for public work right now. I'm not going to call you name. But most of the area engineers around here, RE, resident engineers, okay, they always want this guy, a Liberian guy. Because why? He's very good at office engineering. What does he do? He doesn't do design. When I mean office engineer, he's responsible to do make sure all of the as built, the way the road is built, what is there now to be utilized. Make sure all those things are compiled that people can make reference to in the future. Make sure all of the materials that are specified by the engineers and they need to be at a specific area, those materials are applied in those areas. He's very good at that. He will make sure of it. Make sure all of the materials that are being bought by the contractor. If the contractor say I bought 5 pipes, those 5 pipes should be on the job site. He makes sure to check those 5 pipes in very good condition, in usable condition as well, and then he marked it. At the end, he dispersed the finance to the contractor. And when that guy is on a job, it is very difficult to have issue. Even there will be issue of change order and things like that. Some people want to make money, they want to sue. But if that guy is on a job, the contractor would think twice before they take state of California to court. Because the guy is able to document. So you don't just take him to court. He's working for public work. When I went the last time I saw him, he and I have conversation. Why is he's an engineer. When he was here, how many times did he work in the rain? How many times did he find people going to work in the rain? He knows why. He worked in Truckee, which is a higher elevation here. It snows up there. When the snow season comes, shut everything down. The cold water affect the material. The rain affect the material that to be used. You saw the video that I showed. Minister Falcon couldn't walk in the middle of the road because the mud, the weather affect the material. The mud, those are material that's supposed to be used. Now that mud gonna have to be scraped out. Maybe take it somewhere for it to dry. But it's raining, where you would take it for it to dry, for you to put it back in there. So when I'm speaking, when I'm making these kinds of comments, most of the time I try to direct it at public work. Not to degrade them, but they need to do better. They need to, because here's the thing. The president, I told you before, and I'm saying it again, the president has gone out. My people, yeah. You know, to go beg for money, you know, that small thing. And then man used to be football player. Big time football player, and he going to go beg for money for people to borrow him. You did a small thing. The man is sacrificing his pride, and people don't understand that. People don't understand that. People don't appreciate that. He doesn't have to go borrow. He can sit here and wait for European World Bank hand out. Oh, Liberia. Oh, we don't want y'all to fight war again. Hey, y'all $2 million. Y'all go do this small thing here. And we'll continue to do small thing. The man look at it. He said, I understand, but I'm going to go borrow. To go and talk to people, to say we want to borrow, knowing fully well you're just coming out of a war, knowing fully well your condition on the ground. People are watching, and you're going to go borrow. You think that's small thing? Or you think you think John Wiapa ain't got no shame fear? So if the man is sacrificing his pride to bring that kind of amount of money to us, now you can question the procedure, you can question the constitutionality, and all. That's fine. You're bookman, that's your job. You're entitled to that. But that's not what I'm speaking about. So if that money comes in, those who are responsible, I'm saying it again, those who are responsible, that the money, the application of the fund to a specific area must be understood by all. If we say we're going to put a cover here, we put a cover there. Why are you putting the cover there? Because you want to take the water from one point to another. How much water are you taking from one point to another? How much the cover is going to cost? What are the process involved in putting that cover down there? Those are the things that I'm continuing to talk about. And so I told you here the last time that I, Bloku, do have the ability to speak to my audience to the level that they will be able to understand. You take me right now to do a presentation with all engineers in the room, I will give the engineering perspective. Boom, boom, boom. You take me right now and take me to Total. I'll give you an example. Perfect example. Oh, Samson, you're so good. I love myself. I went to Total. So when I went to Total, one of my uncle, he built a house. And this is a very serious business. He built a house right where his father's house used to be. His father's grave is right here. His house is right there. On top of the hill, the courthouse, Total courthouse, is right there. And as you go up the hill, all of the buildings around have zinc. You know where I'm going with this now. So he lives, his house is downhill. Total, most of the places in the countryside, people respect the town to be clean. So the people sweep. They sweep the grass. They cut the grass and sweep it out. Your yard should be white, sweet, clean. They don't know that if you do that, you're creating a situation for erosion. They don't know that. And you think I'm going to go stay in front of Total people and say, yo, man, I do that. They've been doing it since I was little. I was counting and say, don't do it. They tell me, say, you know what? Tell you fast, my friend. I go. I will go stay in front of my stepmom and say, hey, man, don't clean the thing. You know what? You ate too much last night. Man, family to sit down, man. But a very serious note. So the guy asked me, how? Because when it rains, all of the rain from the zinc is collected and they find this ditch that goes towards his house. The good thing is, again, he recognized the water coming towards his house, so he built his floor a little bit and slope it towards the hill. So what he has done is created another ditch from his house side and from the hillside. Now, the problem he had was how to slope this ditch so it can go around the house. And I tell you this, those of you from the countryside, or if you go any country house you go to, at this time, the house is elevated and they have a ditch erosion all around the building. When they built the house, the first time it was not like that, but the rain from the zinc pouring down, have to find somewhere to get out. So it creates some sort of erosion problem. So the guy asked me, Samson, because I went there and I told them about my grandfather and my uncle grave, what was causing the problem. I said, you need to plant more grass here because when the rain comes from over the hill, it's going to go through the grass. But guess what? The grass will act as an energy dissipator. The water's not going to go through like that. The grass slow it down because water have force. It slow it down. But if you have a ground dirt, the water come, just a quarter flew, it flying out of there with speed. So the guy, my cousin, he said, "Oh, hey, Elia, you learned something, eh?" I laugh. He said, people standing around, something, learn something, right? Elia, he learned something, eh? He know nothing before, but Elia, he learned something. So the guy called me. What do I do here? So I suggested to him, where all this water that coming from that area coming to your place. Another cousin of his have his house here. I said, you got to be careful because if the house is on that side, if you're not careful, the water that you're trying to avoid from here might go to this person's yard and you're going to have issues. So what you need to do, we walk the distance. I told him, put a DI here, put a hole here, manhole, and put a pipe from that manhole to go behind your house. And you find a place to dump that. And your area will be fine. I'm putting the design together for him and I will send it to him here very quickly, very shortly, Okay? Those are the kinds of stuff that I'm talking about. Taking back to Monrovia. These things we must recognize that the people that live around, they're human beings. And so we should treat the matter as such. Samson told Liberia Public Radio. Let me get out of here, folks. I've been out here for too long. Okay, before I go, let me read little. I'm not gonna read. I don't read comment out. I just read into myself and say thank you. First of all, I want to thank all of you for tuning in again tonight. But I like those two questions that came out. What do you want us to do? The place is already saturated with water. What do you want? And I said, fine. If we're going to spend money, the money we're spending is not Dole community money alone. People living way Douala, they will pay for that road. People living way Sinko, Concord Town, they will pay for that road. So we have to make sure the road is built properly. That's all that I'm asking. Okay? Yeah, Johnson, thank God, my man. I got the muff, and God gave me. Thank Mr. Alfonso Zionso and Nathaniel Cryport and the LPR crew. They were able. These things are not free. We pay money, so they gave me the opportunity for me to open my mouth. I will open my mouth, Mr. Johnson. If you don't want to hear my mouth, don't come. Bye bye. Thank you. What's his name? Andrew Johnson. If you don't want to hear my mouth, you can excuse yourself. Yeah. See, these are the kinds of stuff when you write in public like this. It shows, and I don't mean to be rude to you. I don't know what other words to use. It shows that you're limited in not every area. Now I'm talking about our conversation. You're limited. For you to come out here and question, why didn't I do this 10 years ago? Why am I doing it? That means you're limited. 10 years ago, were they building Dole Community Road? You see, I just show you a little point how limited you are. Why would I want to discuss 10 years ago Dole Community when it was not being built? What's wrong with you? Okay, all right, whatever. uh, okay. If Johnson don't want to listen, let him go. Anybody you don't want to listen to me, just turn me off. That's okay. I can talk. I got. You know how many children I got? I got about. I forgot how many children I got. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 17. I can tell all my 17 kids. I say, your turn to the TV and watch me. They will watch me. We don't need Johnson. If he can't come here on a very serious note, if you can't come here and contribute effectively to the process and try to say what you're writing here, it just shows that you're limited in the, again, listen to me. I'm not saying you're limited all around. I say you're limited in this conversation. So if you're limited in this conversation, you don't need to get yourself involved for people to find your weak point. It's not nice. You don't do that in public. Okay. All right, folks. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. Mr. Johnson, why don't you be a man? Give me a call. Just for you, I'll stay here for 2 more minutes. The number is there, 916-533-2048. What's his name? Andrew Janus Johnson. Give me a call. And then see if you want to contribute. Give me a call. In fact, I bet you, fasten. No, forget fasten. I bet you Maria Biscuit. No, what Maria Biscuit? I bet you hot time biscuit with sugar and water and faria. I bet you. Call me. Folks, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. Basically, before I get off here, let me say it again. The intent here is not to degrade. It's not to show off. But if I can do it, I will do it. And thank to Mr. Soul and Nathaniel Crypoor and the rest of the LPR crew, able to give me a system that I can be able to do this. And yes, what you don't know, they're already preparing another software where I will sit here in Sacramento and do a live design. When I come up here, I'm saying it again, when I come out here to open my mouth, I'm exposing myself. Yes, what I want to leave you with. When I do these things, I'm exposing myself in too many ways. I mean, many ways. For example, I'm exposing myself as being ignorant. I'm exposing myself as being one of the best intellectual. I'm exposing myself as being one of the fool you can ever think about. I'm willing to go through that. What do you want from me? If I'm willing to do this, you think myself, I'll get time to come. I don't want to get over there before the people start talking about it. I don't think about the thing. You think everything that I say here, I expect people to accept. I expect people to criticize me. But here's what I told you, and I will continue to say, this is my area. If you come here to criticize, you better be ready. Now, I don't know everything. I don't know everything about engineering. And that's not what I say I am. But the little that I know, if you come here to challenge me on the little that I know, you will be in trouble. But if you challenge me in the area of engineering that I don't know, I would say, I don't know that one. And that's how you're supposed to live. It's a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Let us all enjoy ourselves. Please stay safe. And the government officials that perhaps I hope will be watching will take information. Oh, folks, I can't leave. Samson Tor. Yeah, the one thing about LIBERIA business, you get to LIBERIA business, you tend to forget some stuff. I was supposed to play some commercial. But let me play the commercial. Since I still got plenty of people. Let me play the commercial. This is my my daughter and my son, future son-in-law. They're gonna get married. I hope, I pray they will, because the son-in-law is handsome and my daughter is beautiful. Watch this. If you don't believe me, let's look at this. When you get your mind I draw. Kebo, Mose went to say Ponga. On your lawyer, that you're both, you are not. What was that? replay, 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 replay. One more time, please. Please stay with me. I'm enjoying myself.
mon amant. Hey, mon amant. Hey, mon amant.
Ateito. Nalukio na kati ya Kinshasa mobimba mama e. Na bani na foire fikine. Na koti na sine paladume, na koti na raki. Na koti na sine palase, na koti na Bellevue. Na leki na tipeka e, na koti na endetwae. Ateito, mon amour. Hey, mon amant, maman, mon amant.
Hey, mon amant.
Sambe aneito, nalingio, mama aneito.
Hey, mon amant.
Mama aneito, naponio, mama aneito.
Hey, mon amant.
Janine amelo, nalingio, mama amelo.
Hey, mon amant.
Elongina yo ekatime monte mangana kolela.
Hey, mon amant.
Loposo na yo esilisinga mayalenga na kolela.
Hey, mon amant.
Sambe aneito, nalingio, mama aneito.
Hey, mon amant.
Sambe aneito, naponio, mama aneito.
Hey, mon amant.
Janine amelo, nalingio, mama aneito.
Hey, mon amant.